What's up, guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be about mentally grinding through a tournament. So, and when I say mental grind, it's meaning to be able to step away what you normally do, whatever techniques that you're more comfortable with, and stepping out of the box and trying something else instead of, throwing that jig, that shaky head, that drop shot, and catching a limit in fear of not bringing 5 fish to the weigh-in or 5 fish through the fish app. You got to go out there and you got to go for the win if you expect some top 5 finishes or top 3 finishes, just because the guys that are fishing fearless out there. So the biggest takeaway from fishing over 10 years and having about 2 to 3 years of tournament experience is that the quick turnaround from being on a slow bite to being on winning fish is a matter of changing the way that you fish and reacting and making a decision as soon as possible. So I'll give you an example. There's this my grassroots club called Sonoma County Belly Boat Bass Club. It was a TOC. If I hadn't weighed in an extra fish, brought in extra fish to the weigh-in, I probably would have taken it. I would have taken it because I had a 6, a 4, and a 5.5 on that day. But I went to my initial spot, and
in 2 miles, use the left 2 lanes to take exit 1C toward downtown Long Beach Convention Center.
I went to a spot that was known for a jig bite and finesse bite. Caught one real quick on a jig, and then after that slowed down. I threw the trap for a little bit, and I let that trap sink down all the way to the bottom, and I was tying on something else like a drop shot or something, and then all of a sudden I see a fish come up and shake my trap. So I lost my second fish, and then it was maybe an hour in and I haven't gotten bit. So I made the biggest decision of that day to move to a different spot. So I packed the truck. We're on kick boats, pontoon kick boats, so we're literally disabled from moving long distances unless you just pack it up in the truck again and then drive 30 minutes to another spot and then get ready there. So I made that big decision. I packed it up, tied on a lure that I never threw before, and this was during fall to winter transition.
In half a mile, use the left 2 lanes to take exit 1C toward downtown Long Beach Convention Center.
And my usual strength is fishing a football jig or flipping a jig, but for some reason that day they weren't taking the jig. They weren't reacting to it. So
use the left 2 lanes to take exit 1C, then continue on to West the Shoreline Drive.
Sorry, I'm on my way to work, but I picked up this bait called the Ruku Shad by Spro, and I believe it was the 75. Never threw it. Tied it on. It was bluegill pattern. Just casting it out. I was working it as rapid as I can, just covering water. Something that
Continue on West Shoreline Drive for 3/4 of a mile.
Something that I really don't do that often, just because I love fishing the jig, But instantly I get bit, 2.5 pounder in the live well. Cast, lose a fish, maybe 3rd, 4th cast.
In half a mile, take the exit toward Golden Shore, Catalina Landing.
Cast another one at this grass bed. Bam! Hook into this 6-pounder on this crankbait that I have never used. It's so crazy.
Take the exit toward Golden Shore.
So that was just one example where I changed the way that I fished.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Golden Shore.
And that put me on a winning pattern. Granted, I did get DQ'd the first day because I accidentally weighed in.
Turn right onto
a small
Golden
fish.
Shore.
Another example, even when you're fun fishing and you're just a weekend angler, how is fun fishing?
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the right.
How is fun fishing one of the ponds close to me, and I was throwing a Kayak on a cool baits underspin, and I was catching, granted, I was catching big fish on it, and I was getting bit on it, but I would have to like literally drag and bottom bump with that bait. So I was just like, I got on the phone with my buddy Dale, and we're just talking about, you know, just changing it up, doing something a little bit different, you know, because that's the big decision that you need to make is, are you going to settle for 5 bites, 5 average fish? Or are you going to make the big decision?
Your destination is on the right.
And choose to throw something that you might not be comfortable with, but it might put you on some winning fish. It might be a pattern that you've never used on those fish that can get them to bite. And lo and behold, hold on just a minute, I'm gonna get parking. I just pay later. So lo and behold, I tie on this spoon, you know, granted I caught fish on it before. I caught fish on it during a tournament in Paris. And speaking of which, that put me on top 3 Finnish fish. But I tie that on after throwing a Kayak for a good hour or so, and then it slowed down. And as soon as I tied on that spoon, I dropped down on some marked arches and I hook into a bass first cast. Like, and that's what I mean, that decision of throwing a different bait to get you winning fish that you might not be comfortable doing could put you from the middle of the pack to a top 3, maybe even a win situation. So don't be afraid to throw the spoon, a big spoon. Don't be afraid to break away from throwing a shaky head, a drop shot, a Texas rig, and go with something that will put you on some winning fish. That's the biggest takeaway from tournament fishing these past 3 years, is making a decision to change it up and not living in fear of just catching, you know, a limit of fish. I can tell you what, that each and every time that I finished top 3, it wasn't because of playing it safe. It was because I chose to throw a bait that, 1, I knew that was going to catch a bigger bite, or 2, something that I was uncomfortable throwing at first, but then finding out that this is the winning pattern, and whatever I normally do is not going to work. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video. It's something different. I just wanted to pass on knowledge and help you guys get better at tournament fishing, because this channel is majority about kayak bass fishing in tournaments, and sharing my knowledge and also sharing my experience in bass fishing. Anyways, have a good day. Please subscribe, hit that bell, for alerts. And like this video if you like it. Comment below if you have any more questions. I'll be happy to answer any of them down below. Peace.